I'm curious to know at what point the fulfillment of doing what you do becomes not diluted, just the repetition of what you do. When does that energy wear, and then you look, and then you look at things in a different light?
Jail. Prison.
Right. Okay.
When you go to prison for graff, it looks at it differently. Like when I was in there, I'd always be like, not fucking changing me, rah, rah, rah. And even when I come out of jail, I was in the same hangar in Vienna within 24 hours painting the thing. But I can't say I was in there with the same confidence and the same outlook of it, knowing that what can happen. Even though when you're all doing it at the beginning, you all know what can happen.
Yeah.
When you've been fucking sat in a foreign jail, not speaking English for 6 months, not knowing a word what's fucking going on, not having a single visitor, it can kind of peck on you a little bit, you know what I mean?
Oh,
so those were pretty dark times.
Yeah, no. Can we dial in a bit more on that experience?
Yeah, for sure.
What you like?
Yeah, Vienna.
Yeah, like that to me just sounds harrowing, like minute by minute, like what the fuck?
Killa Kela podcast. KillaKelaOfficial.com.
Street Culture TV.
Instagram UK Frontline.
Beatbox created.
Killa Kela.
And we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
Killa Kela podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, Killa Kela podcast, live and direct, central London, or as central as you need to be, choose to be, want to be. Baby boy, you don't want to be anywhere else. You'd be a fool to even try it. Trust me, with all these podcasts and a whole lot of love, bringing together multiple areas and genres across the country. Okay, people, our sponsors, the mighty GKNIFTYHEADS, have 10,000 play-to-earn GraffPunks NFTs to give away. Get ready as London's white trash goes blockchain digital with Bitcoin Cash tokens locked into them to claim. Get yourselves over to the website GKNIFTYHEADS.com and play to earn now. Inside the house. We're going up north. We're going somewhere very different, and I love it. I love these podcasts. It means the world to get gentlemen like this man in, Hodl representing for a long time, by popular demand, actually. This gentleman has allowed opportunity for us to be in his house right now. He goes by the name of Teabag. How are you, my brother?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Thank you for having me on the show.
It's fucking great to see you. I'm seeing behind you there's some equipment going on. Is there some production facility you're in?
Well, to be fair, mate, I'm lending a friend's space, but he's a big music boy. Crime Time Productions, big up to the man.
Oh, come on.
And yeah, man, he's my homeboy. It's a good place to be. I'm happy, man.
Yeah, of course, man. I mean, Jesus. When I think of Tbag, I think of, just relentless drive of hitting, of just hitting. And the one thing that I is noted is your age and your prevalence within the community. Like we spoke on it briefly. This was kind of pre-internet. You were one of the last bastion of generations that were really out there holding court, doing your thing without the aid of internet, right?
Well, I was proud of that. I remember when I first started with Graff, and like a few people had put stuff on internet, and we all wanted to kill them. We didn't want that stuff online, and now it's quite the opposite. You paint it and you send it to 20 people and be like, please post it. And yeah, I'm glad I didn't come from that, really. You got to see what was in your actual city. So that was cool.
Yeah, Hull, man. They got some wicked Graff. They got these. They still got those houses with nothing but Graff, like a whole estate full of Graff.
Yeah, they did that. It was a few friends from mine. Rest in peace, Ook. I think Cost was involved, Orgy too. But I'm from Leeds originally, but I spend a lot of time down here, so I've got a good family down in Hull.
Nice. What's Leeds saying at the moment? What's going on in Leeds? Big up the Leeds crew.
Leeds it's an interesting place since I've gone back. To be honest, like the street scenes are crazy. The stuff you can get away with now, like you just wouldn't have dreamed of getting away with in, like, I don't know, when I was living in England in 2008 and stuff. But it's good to see. Styles aren't exactly always there, but it's good to see people motivated and keeping the scene active, really.
It's just amazing. Perhaps street art has helped allow tolerance, hasn't it?
It definitely has for street bombing. The stuff I've been doing in the city, without the people doing the murals at the same time, you just wouldn't have seen the daylight of ever trying to do it. So that was cool for being active in the city and bombing and stuff. It's really good at the moment, to be fair. It's got a good scene for that.
So where's that come from, though, T?
I would just say just from tolerance, really. Like Graff, the state the world's in at the moment, Graff's like not the biggest thing in the world, is it? So people see it as a bit more of an artistic thing, and if you're off and about, the police haven't got time to deal with it, really.
Do you see it as an artistic thing, T? I mean, it's
I
two
won't
worlds,
lie,
right?
bro. I'm a vandal. I absolutely love destroying things. I think one of my favourite interviews, I think it was from one of the off-key guys, and he was like, I love the graffiti, not the stuff that your girlfriend likes with the pretty colours. It was the stuff that made your grandma scared to leave the house. And,
broken window effect.
Yeah, that interview always stuck in my head, man. And don't get it wrong, I love all my, like, if I'm painting panels, I like to make things nice and make sure the job's done properly. But there's no more fun than bombing and throw-ups, is there really, with your boys?
I mean, I don't know. I don't condone that on this podcast, but big shout to everyone doing their thing without question.
Yeah. In the old days, there was nothing better.
We're purely talking in retrospective here.
Retrospect. That's the word, mate.
So let's jump into it, man. Where did it all begin for you, my brother? I mean, years we're talking now. Like, where did it all begin for you?
I started like tagging about in probably 2005. I had a lot of influence from people like KGB, even the NKA guys in Leeds. They were doing a lot. And then started probably getting on steel about 2007. Moved to Europe in 2010 and didn't look fucking back. It was a life-changing experience for me. Best thing I ever did.
Really? So where did you go exactly? What happened there?
I had a few issues in England. So I decided to have a bit of fun abroad. Went to Vienna. And shit just completely hit the fan. I made some amazing links, made a bit of a name for myself there. And from there, just the connections and travelling just went on and on and on and on. It was really amazing period, to be honest. Probably the best times of my life in Graff.
Really? What Vienna? Because it's, big shout to Austrian crew, man. Like, those guys don't fuck around. Like, style, man. European style. I love European style.
Curtis from Vienna was one of my favourite writers. Same with Build. But they didn't particularly appreciate a tourist guy going there and making a bit of a mock of it. So that didn't go down too well. But yeah, Vienna was history for me, and I love every second of it. Still very proud of those days.
Yeah, and then there's the gateway that is Prague and the Eastern Bloc for its time. I
had a few issues in Vienna, so I started travelling to see my friends in Prague, the ISK crew. Rest in peace, Fisher.
Rest in peace.
And yeah, man, it's too many tragic ones gone these years. Again, rest in peace, F-Tor too.
Yeah, the world is, it's almost like every day there's a different person passing, which is just scary in itself, isn't it?
Part of the game, but as long as they do it in the things that we love, I suppose it's worth it, isn't it?
Yeah, well, actually, and that's an interesting angle to look at it, because, with such a high risk art form, there's obviously casualties. The idea of dying by the sword, it's very romantic. It holds a lot of.
It's romantic, but tragic as well. Especially if it's not just a name. If it's a personal friend, like some of these people, I never spoke to them about Graff. They were family to me, so it was pretty hard, to be honest. I won't lie, but you just got to keep the name alive, keep going, and just
Yeah, of course, yeah. Rest in peace to all the soldiers. Yeah, absolutely.
There's too many to mention on here.
Yeah, I know. I would do. Going back through the podcasts, even some of the people that I've had on have sadly passed, and that is dumbfounding in itself. 8 years is a long time to be out of digs and meandering around the European slopes. What what made you stay for so long, bro?
Not wanting to be solving my problems back here, to be honest.
So what was going on here? What was the troubles here?
Just other things other than graffiti. Wanting to be a kid, wanting to be rich, and being a bit of a silly boy. But you can't live like that forever, and you don't want to live like that forever. When I left England, I realised the world's a big place, and there's a lot more than Holton in Leeds. So
yeah, that does it to you, right? This kind of wealth of wider knowledge. You know what I mean?
But it also brings it back to Graff, man, when some people are getting a little bit shook about something. I'm like, well, mate, compared to back in the days, this is a bit of a walk in the park. So...
Yeah, I mean, I would probably be shook at every interval of anything of such activity, but again, just like having the ear to the ground and years of conversation, I get it because it's a compulsive urge. It's a need to do. It's like me not going and doing gigs. That would just be heartbreaking.
Yeah, it hurts you, man. It bleeds from you, you know. Like, I think these days it's all about having fun. I don't really give a fuck what people think about my stuff anymore. I did that when I was younger, and I've lost too much sleep over it. And Graff's about having fun and just staying safe at the end of the day. Yeah. I'd rather get busted than bust up on the track.
Influences. Tell me about your influences. Like who was on the come up with you? You know, how old were you when you first started?
My maths is shit. I'm 34 now. 2005 is when I first started. I would say Twok from KGB was one of my biggest influences. Nice. For a northern writer. This guy, again, he's got no recognition, but this guy was doing like 240 panels in a year up north.
Twok.
Yeah, which is unbelievable. Like double hole cars, the whole Shazam. Good friends with Spec and all the NKA boys back in the day.
Big up Spec.
He was a real legend. Tyres from Leeds was a big influence from me. I don't know if you know about this guy.
Listen, send these names up, man. This is documentation in its...
Yeah, man. I don't want to drop other new names at the right now, just you know what I mean, how it is. But there were people that looked up. We don't exactly see eye to eye now, but I looked up to them as writers a lot. Fister for sure. He's a good friend of mine now. Absolute king. Carl 123.
Yeah.
Absolute fucking legend. Just all the original boys. Band DDS again is a good friend of mine now.
Big up Band, love Band. There's a good man there. Love Band.
We've had some funny times, man. He's a legend. I love him.
He's a crack. He's so much fun.
He's
good
cynic.
Yeah,
he was one of them that I'm not a hypey person, but when you get to meet someone that you've looked up to for years, and he was like, you know what it is, you're actually how I wanted you to be.
Yeah, he's a real one.
Legend, man.
Absolute real one.
Peter from Manchester, Prague guy. He was huge influence to me as a young kid as well. I don't know if, again, you probably might not know him.
No, I know these names. I mean, this is the thing, see, like you dive into Manchester, Sheffield, you know, and Sheffield, man. Sheffield in the mid-90s was bonkers.
You've got Fist, you know, it was ridiculous, man. These are the people, NM crew, these are half the reason the Northern boys right for a start, I think. So a lot
more hardcore, like, for different reasons, you know what I mean? For a whole heap of different reasons, you know. Obviously, with London, it's the metropolis, you know what I mean? And it's a lot, you know. The actions are really taken into consideration. It's hard fucking work. Big shout out to my London crew.
London's amazing, man. It's like Disneyland for adults, but for Graff, there's just so much options. But again, you've got so many other people trying. You've got a lot more beefy bits down there, which I kind of respect. You've got to look after your property and your yards. If you're working hard, it's yours. Simple as that. But yeah, man, London's a sick place. There's a good few Northern boys living down there at the moment, and I'd like to say Mr. O is absolutely killing it. Yeah, that's as far as I'll say on that one, but big up Mr. O. The real ones will know who I mean.
There you go. Explain to me a day in the life of Teabag, because obviously, again, we're really dealing in like different environments here. I really want to break the back in the psyche of you.
Well, I won't lie. The last years or so have been a bit calmer since I've been in England, and I've stuck with a few problems. But my day in the life abroad was wake up. If the sun was shining, I'd spark up my warhead. I'd probably have a little chicken.
I've never heard that before. I love that. Spark up my warhead. Oh God, that's good. My algorithms are going crazy at the moment. Fucking
sit on the balcony and just go, good morning, Dusseldorf, you know what I mean? And just see what's going to happen for the day. As long as the sun's shining, you got a couple of quid and a couple of cans and an idea. The world's your fucking oyster, innit?
Yeah, totally. You know, I feel that. But you were saying
freedom. You know, the sense of freedom abroad is just unreal for me.
Graff writers need freedom. There is this innate
Doesn't
need.
matter what part of life I'm in, I get bored. If that makes sense, I have to go back to that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I just twitch and I can't do it. It's worse than drugs.
Yeah. There's this sense of one of the subscribed uh, uh, ailments of Graff on podcasts has often been ADHD and things like that. There's a certain temperament to Graff writers.
I've got them all written down, mate. PTSD, ADHD, ADD. I tick all the boxes for being a vandal.
Yeah. And that's just the cruise, right?
yeah. That's just the cruise. We'll shout them out later. But no, man, it's been a privilege.
Do you do other stuff as well as Graff? I mean, you know, a lot of writers have got real creative direction to them. Do you know? Has creativity always been in your?
I've always been. If you speak to me, ma'am, which we don't often speak to, but she said I've always been very creative. I'm always drawing around and stuff. But I like to have good ideas, but I don't want to jump on the bandwagon of things. When I come out of jail, I got offered a tattoo apprenticeship, and I didn't want to do that just because every writer that seemed to got bust jumped straight into tattoos, and I just didn't want to do that. Graff for me is about me. I didn't really want to make money from it. But I have a few ideas. I've been getting into a bit of like fashion things, accessories, but not just your standard Graff t-shirts. I'm talking like designer bags. But if you know what you know that that's come from a certain metro system or things like that. So little things like that intrigue me a lot. And I've always been huge into making inks. I had an ink company for a while. I've sold all that just because I don't have the fucking time to deal with it.
What was the company called?
Brewing.
Oh,
yeah, they and man, I had people from Holland going, "Are you doing this in a warehouse? Are you doing this?" Mate, I was doing it Breaking Bad style underneath fucking train bridges, mate, pretty much homeless. With
really?
all stuff, honestly, and it was doing really well. I've got shops in Australia still doing it, but I just don't have the time to do it all.
Hold on a minute. So you really lived the lifestyle of a Graff writer. You were what? So you were homeless. You were raising.
Well, not homeless. You know what I mean? I had friends, places, and that, but they're not going to let me start brewing up acids in the living room. So it was under the train bridges we go.
That's mad. You really do. You really have lived that lifestyle.
I just wanted to make something that did what it said on the fucking tin, and every ink didn't seem to do that. And I knew you had to break a few technical legal boundaries, but the ink did exactly what it said on the fucking tin. Unfortunately, with a few jails and stuff like that, I just lost a lot of business with it and ended up having to sell the recipes to somebody else just because it was unfair to the people that were buying the products. But yeah, big up Brewing.
Yeah, big up Brewing. And big up Infamy as well, you know. They're doing their thing.
Man, he's a good friend from me, man, and we've shared a few secrets, should we say, you know.
I've noticed the Breakfast of Champions going on. Have you been working all night?
We got back at about 6 this morning. So beers. We had a few liveners last night, and I'm a smoking man. I just smoked my last sut then, so I've had to crack on for a tinny.
See, bullshit. It's a lifestyle, and just going back to, you know, hiding under, you know, arches, doing building ink, making ink. I want to stick with that for a second because that lifestyle, that lifestyle, again, the romanticism of it.
Sounds romantic, but it was one of those ones where like, what the fuck do I do? I ain't got a fucking choice here. I've got people needing stuff. I've got materials there. I ain't got no basic legal income. I was abroad doing dodginess for 11 years. This was my kind of try and be Graff legal type of thing. I just didn't really have a choice, mate, you know, so what can you do? Everyone's like, oh, how do you manage so far abroad? It's like, well, if you don't have a fucking option of coming home, you seem to make it work, don't you?
Fight or flight, isn't it? It's fight or flight.
Some people fly, you know what I mean? I'm not that lad.
But what makes the Graff lifestyle more appealing? Because you're right, there are income streams for it, but with the lifestyle the way it is, it doesn't make it. It's not easy money. It's not the easy road to go, is it?
Man, any business where they go, oh, that's easy money, they've not done it because it's not easy money. Because I've done both of them businesses and it's not easy money. Like, but with Graff, I've had a few options to do commissions, and I'll do that. You know, if you want, I don't know, a plant pot on a palm tree, I'll do that. But I've never wanted to sell. I don't want people to buy my legal stuff only through the fact that it's of an illegal name. For me, that just doesn't make any sense. If that makes, do you get what I mean?
You want what? So what you're saying that you want to retain your legality.
I would happily paint you any word you want, but I'm not going to sell you my name of Teabag. because you're not buying it for the point of me. You're buying it for the point of the name, and you're only liking the name for the illegalness that it's done.
Which is what you're taking the risk on doing, and that's your repute.
Well, yeah, I just don't think like if I'm making money from illegal, I don't think if you only know me from illegal, I don't think you should be paying for it legally. Like if you want a piece of because you respect the actual work that I've done, you shouldn't mind what word it's written in.
Oh, I never even thought about it like that. You know?
Get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Don't
like
get
if
it
you take the
wrong,
photo, if you take the photo on the surface on a train on the wall, that's one thing. Because
yeah.
okay, that's about as owned as it was owned to you.
But we all know, for example, there's famous people that paint a canvas black, and I love these guys. They'll flick a bit of colour on there. Artistically, we all know it's a bag of wank, but they'll still pay 10 grand for it, and they're only buying it because they know who's done it.
Yeah.
Compared to, I don't know if that makes sense.
No.
I don't know, but
yeah. It's a perspective that I've never considered. Like
I look at things from every angle. It's with the ADHD thing. I have to look at fucking everything from everywhere, and I don't know. For graph, I love it, and I've got friends that are chefs, and they can't stand cooking anymore, but they loved cooking before. So I'd never want to make money with graph and then take the love away.
Yeah. No, I get you. The analogy of the chef is a great one. The idea that a Michelin star chef is like cooking up like some of the best food, then at the end of the night he goes and has a Burger King, you know what I mean, or whatever, you know. That's
well, yeah, he just doesn't have the love to cook anymore, you know, because it's just sucked it all out of him.
Do you think the audience understand that? Well, not the comparable itself, but the mindset of work, illegal versus legal. Like, do you think the Joe public differentiate like that?
No, I don't know. That's hard to say, really. Like again, it sounds very contradictory. If someone wants to pay me 10 grand for a canvas, and as long as it doesn't say Teabag, I'll sell you it for 10 bags. But I just don't feel the fact that I'd rather give it to you if it said Teabag on it. That's making sense.
Yeah, no, man, that is so interesting. That is so interesting. I guess
I'm not hating on the people that do it. And maybe the one day if I was broke and someone said to me, "Hey, gives 20 grand for a canvas for a Teabag," maybe I ended up.
Yeah, all right then.
I'd be contradicted, but at the standing as I am, I'd love to say I wouldn't. I
think it's valid, and it's but also there's a place for all of it. And again, just going back to whether it's toleration in society for it, or more of a broader understanding of where it's come from and what the demarcated
people.
Those lanes of income streams. And I think I only bring it up mainly because of an artist of your caliber and how long you've been doing it. I'm curious to know at what point the fulfillment of doing what you do becomes not diluted, just the repetition of what you do. When does that energy wear, and then you look, and then you look at things in a different light?
Jail, prison.
Right. Okay.
When you go to prison for graph, it looks at it differently. Like when I was in there, I'd always be like, not fucking changing me, rah, rah, rah. And even when I come out of jail, I was in the same hangar in Vienna within 24 hours painting the thing. But I can't say I was in there with the same confidence and the same outlook of it, knowing that what can happen. Even though when you're all doing it at the beginning, you all know what can happen.
Yeah.
When you've been fucking sat in a foreign jail, not speaking English for 6 months, not knowing a word what's fucking going on, not having a single visitor, it can kind of peck on you a little bit, you know what I mean?
Oh,
so those were pretty dark times.
Yeah, no, can we dial in a bit more on that experience?
Yeah, for sure.
What you like?
Yeah, Vienna.
Yeah, like that to me just sounds harrowing, like minute by minute, like what the fuck?
Oh, I hated it, but fucking loved it, and I was this sounds stupid, not proud of it, but like when I went to Vienna, I was a nobody. I didn't have any links. I didn't have anything. It was pretty known as a generally easy system to do and have a bit of fun with. So I thought it's a perfect place to go.
Right.
Got there, didn't have any keys. acquired some keys pretty easily, and then realised that no one's really fucking doing anything there. So I just took full advantage of it. Locals hated that. Had a lot of tourists, made a bit of a name for myself. And I knew that people had snitched on me. I knew that the police were looking for me. I knew they knew me by name. They were searching the places that I was living. And it was just becoming a fucking nightmare. So I was getting a bit arrogant, not wearing masks, not wiping cans, just knowing when it comes, it's going to be bad. And it came a lot worse than I thought.
Really? How worse did it come? What happened?
Oh, it was a kick in the balls, mate. The worst thing is I'd been away for a year knowing that they were all over me, and I missed it. So I went back for Christmas, walked into a hangar, which was everyone called the baby, my hangar, painted it. They realised I was back, and then they sat there for 7 days and got me again. And I mean, when we got rushed, we didn't get done by graffiti police because they didn't have the graffiti police at the time. They had a group called Cobra, and it's generally for drug dealing and things like that, and they came in hammer and fucking tongue.
Really?
I had a fake ID at the time, so for the first 12 hours in the hospital and that, because they beat us, they all had me on a different name. They took us to the police station. I'm thinking, I've fucking got away with this. This is fucking shit hot. Obviously, one policeman's walked through and gone, and just come running back with a file from England, and I was like, oh my fucking God, here we go.
Only one. It only takes one, eh? Jesus.
Oh man, I had faces of me waving at cameras and shit. I was being a bit stupid, but I ended up in 6 months remanded in jail, €283,000 fine put against my name.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was an estimated of £1.2 million damage.
So it was all in the newspaper and everything?
Bro, I'm not quite an emotional guy, but I'd not seen my family for the whole time. I said, look, don't come and visit me. It's fucking stupid. But the day of my court date, the fucking door's open. I've got policemen on either side. There's photographers, and at the very back of it all, I could just see my dad.
Oh no!
Yeah.
God.
I was like, fucking hell, bite the inside of the cheeks. Let's get these. You know what I mean? I'm not an emotional guy, but it's my dad, man. You know, I'd missed seeing him. I could see his face too. So stiff upper lip, walked into court. But I lied, but the picture's pretty dope. I'm stood there, they've got me in my uniform, and they put my Stone Island badge straight over my handcuffs.
Stoner.
I'll send you the picture, bro. You're going to have to use it for this. It's naughty.
Wow.
It's a picture. But yeah, it was pretty nerve-wracking, man. Like they were more angry about the fact that I was using hydrofluoric acid. They were trying... Everyone else got bail, apart from me, because they had me on the charge of willingly in danger to human life and health, which means no bail.
And again, I just might amplify even further. Do not try this shit at home. That's a firearm, isn't it? That's classed as a firearm.
Bro, they were trying to get me done for selling terrorist weapon.
Whoa.
Because I was selling the acid.
Wow.
All the charges never stuck, but they knew they put that to be able to keep me in the jail. You know what I mean? It was fucked. But yeah, don't play with acid, kids. I've got burns all over me, man. It's not good.
Yeah. It's not cool.
Stay away from that.
Yeah. Again, do not try any of this shit at home.
Oh no, don't.
I get the impression that you're quite the lone star so far as, you know.
I'm a bit like Marmite.
Elaborate.
You fucking hate me.
Elaborate that.
It's one of them ones.
Really? What? Are you a trouble starter, T?
I'm not a trouble starter, but I'm one of them that I will not fucking bite my bullet, especially if it's something that I've worked really hard in. Mate, fuck that. No. We had an issues in Vienna. I won't mention the writer, and because we're trying to be civil now. But he tried telling me, and he's a street writer. I'm a metro painter, you know what I mean. And he tried to, you can't go to. And he was like, what's that hangar called? Yeah, you can't go there. I was like, bro, you're out of your fucking mind. At this point, I didn't know how big the guy was. I'm not exactly a big charver either. Well, let's just say they big the shit out of me.
Really?
But I still stood my ground and said it how it was. And we were both locked up in the same jail as it comes. And we were both, as funny stories as you see me lining him in the jail, see someone else who's coming, he's just lined you in interview room. Oh, well, I'll get him in exercise yard. So I had friends from Slovakia that locked up in the same jail. I was like, we're in the streets and we see you beefing. We're all locked up and we see you beefing.
Beef. All round beef. Yeah.
Fuck that, man. I won't back down. It's something that I worked hard. Vienna's somewhere that I worked hard for. I put blood, sweat, and tears into there. Made history there. I'm still the only man in the whole world that's done a one-man whole train there on subway. Still, 13 years later, no one's done it. So people can say what they want about me there. I put my homework in.
It's honouring one's name. That's what it comes down to, isn't it?
Yeah, a couple of tins deep as well.
Well, yeah, sure. But if you don't honour their name, then who else? It's the rep.
Everyone does graph for themselves, which we do. But if you can't say it's not an ego thing at the same time, you're chatting shit to yourself. Even if it's an ego against your own ego.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, you come on. The battling part of graph is there. It's not about, oh, you've lied me, so I'm going to punch your head. And it's well, if you've lied me, I'm not going to line you back. I'll just do a tag above yours, below it, to the left of it, and the right of it. It's about, if it's on the wall, it's on the wall. It should be a bit of fun, shouldn't it? Really?
So intimidation of having it everywhere around the one tag is probably more. Yeah, it's probably more.
It pissed me off than if someone lined me and didn't leave the name.
Yeah. Just have the name. Ego fighting your own ego. You said that a second ago. Elaborate more on that.
It's the worst.
Yeah. Explain that a bit more.
Well, there's times, like now I've really chilled out in graph over the last couple of years, I won't lie. But for example, the times in Vienna and when I went to live in Napoli and that, it was, oh, well, if he's done 3, I've got to do 4. Or if he's done 10 colour, well, I'm going to do 15. Or if he's done an old card, I'm going to do a double. And it just takes all the fun out of it. I couldn't give a fuck if I've got a panel that's got a little drip on there anymore. I had a wicked time doing it. It's one of them. I think when you're younger, you really push yourself more than you need to, just because of your care of what everyone else seems to fucking think. And that's when graph gets not fun. When you were toying, you didn't give a shit and you didn't really know the rules or the consequences. It was so much fun. It's like...
Wow, yeah. You know what? Because this is crazy. Because
ignorance
a lot of
is bliss.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It is though.
But the interesting thing that you said there, T, is the idea that, because most people, going back to the chef analogy, the criticalness of getting that sage on top of the whatever biscuit that goes on top of the fucking steak that goes on top. I mean, that sounds like a really bad dinner, but you get what I'm saying. It's like people, you guys, graph writers, the attention to detail isn't actually about the personal perfection of it. Often it's the thought of someone else saying some shit.
And that's the part that I don't give a fuck about anymore. And I think once you got to that bit, it's really back to the basics again. It's just pure enjoyable.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to, like, if you oh, well, that looks a bit shit. That looks a bit like, well, bro, if you want to play whose TV's bigger, it's not going to work if we want to go on those ones. So you can say what you want about McGrath now, but how many have you got?
Yeah. And when you do, correct me if I'm wrong, when you do come down from that, because it sounds like a part of the course, you've almost got to endure that. Probably just like any work.
Part of it. You've got to take the shit. If you don't take the shit, you won't be half the writer you are now. When I was younger, everyone fucking hated me in Leeds. Half of them write my crew now, so you just gotta keep pushing, aren't you? When half the time, all the young generation are always going to get hated just because they're doing bits. And as long as they start to learn that doing it a bit better, they'll always get the respect that they deserve, man. Most of it's just jealousy to people, I think.
But that's a collective sum of people that create the peers. So if you've got a flourishing graph scene, wherever you are, and that competition is rife, then inherently you're going to get like some banging pieces because people are watching each other, critiquing, egos.
Competing, completely, yeah, for sure. They're going to hate, then they're going to appreciate, then they're going to want to link. So it's how it always is, really. We've always the younger generation, like, because they don't hate on them, but I think half the hate pushes them to be better people anyway. It definitely did for me. So it makes you work that little bit harder.
That's kind of what I'm concluding here. Cause
I feel you with that.
I've certainly never spoke so deeply on that, but that's a really interesting angle. It's almost...
bro, I can get in that deepness if we need to be, mate.
Yeah. This is what I'm loving.
I love a good graph talk, but if you get me on it, I can be on it for ages. And yeah, I'm a quite passionate person about it. So I think that's the old school part of me coming through compared to the new one that's just like fucking click, click, like.
Mm-hmm.
It's not my thing, man.
Which side of your graph career do you prefer? Pre long stay holiday or post?
Say that again, sorry.
Which do you prefer? Do you prefer Teabag before he went on the holiday trip from a tenaciousness, I'm going to fucking do this, or do
no,
I was a
cunt before.
Really, really.
Nah, not a cunt, but it was like I had other things to do in England, so I was just doing throw ups, tags, and training in Yorkshire. Going to Europe opened my mind that wow, people are actually nice. Like there's actually people here that like. Even without graph, we would have nothing in common. But with this, is become my best friend, and we've realised that we do actually have so much in common. Opens your eyes to so much things, from food to travel to just generosity to people, just to how you can live. You can have $2,000 in your pocket in Leeds, and you're miserable as fuck. You can be in Naples with 25 quid, and you're happy as Larry.
Totally. Side note, when I was in Germany, Austria, the gas regions. There was nothing more better than a piece of bread with cheese and ham on it.
Man, fresh bread and cheese, I could eat it all day long. If I'm with the one from NM, we'll bang a bit of Marmite on there as well. But other than that, like, I love it completely. Just fresh food, simple. I love living in Italy just for the point of that. 100%. You've got simple, beautiful, cheap, and you've got a fucking hell of a lot of stuff to paint on at night time. It was a real paradise, man.
Yeah, man. Like, it's a real different contrast to the rat race of our small island. And I don't know where that comes from. Do you think
I come back in 2021, and this isn't the England that I knew at all.
Really?
Like in ways that it's like you can bomb the fuck out of everything, you can rack everything, but the state of everything, the prices, it's just mental. Like I don't know what your opinion on is, but England's fucking changed in the last 10 years to me. It's not like I used to.
Yeah, of course. I mean, there is the finance right now is fucking crazy. I mean,
it's mental. I don't know how they expect someone to live on a 9 to 5 and survive. Like even without living an extravagant lifestyle, which some of us do like and have. How the fuck can normal people live in this state at the moment?
Well,
this is well off graph topic now, isn't it? Sorry.
No. We love this. We love this on the podcast. In fact, I was going to segue because speaking to graffiti paint vendors, there was certainly this, particularly like post you weren't coming out of COVID. It was like, and then
it killed everything. COVID. It fucked brewing completely.
Electricity bills have gone crazy since, and just to buy a can of paint now is it's upwards.
Bro, £4 something, and that's on a friend's price.
Yeah, that's the price.
I was in Germany paying £2.30 a can.
Yeah. How's that even? Yeah, and does that impact the culture as a whole? Does that?
Well, for a while I didn't really pay for paint. I was very lucky for that. Thank God to all the shops and help and bits and bobs.
The help and support.
Toys that got racked. But it was, it's expensive, man. Like, but for example, when I was living in Switzerland, fucking hell, to go paint a panel, you'd be paying nearly 12 quid a can. You could get there and have to throw it within 30 seconds and never see it again.
Switzerland's a whole different gravy. I mean, Jesus, the prices.
I loved it, bro. I lived there for 5 years.
It's expensive, though.
Depends what you're making there. But it was a beautiful life and a real interesting system. It was one of the only systems I've probably been to, and I was like, you bastard.
Really?
I can't quite just work this out in 24 hours, you know what I mean?
Really?
Yeah. And at the time I was living there, so I didn't really want to do a Vienna part 2 and fucking destroy my doorstep. So I was trying to do it carefully, and it really one of them that kicked me. Other than Glasgow, they were the two that kicked me. I was like, you bastard.
How did Glasgow kick you? Hold on. How did Glasgow kick you? What happened there?
Have you been there?
Well, I've been to Glasgow, yeah.
Yeah, fucking.
I've been to Glasgow.
I'm up for a lot of stuff.
Have you been to Glasgow? The same Glasgow as me.
Fucking hell, mate. For security and just how everything works, it just boggles me. Normally, I'll be like, okay, this could be risky, it can work, but this is how it could. There, you're like, well, how's it going to work? But I'll send you a picture of one recently for this podcast anyway. So
big up Easy
we got
Riders,
there in the
man.
end.
Big up,
We got there in
Acme
the
and
end, boy. We got there in the end. You know what I mean?
yeah. Big up Easy Riders, Acme and all the crew there, you know.
Yeah, man, I've had a few words with him, but big up Kink, BNK.
Yes, absolutely. Big up all the heads, you know. And
Yeah,
again,
man.
it's
Big up all the band, man. I've got no hate apart from the ones that know I hate them. You know,
age and wisdom. That is, my friend. Age and wisdom.
it is, but I've also learned the internet isn't a very big place.
Ooh.
People think it is, but it isn't.
Yeah, it's this faceless response and comments and things and such. Yeah, I get you.
I ain't faceless. I'll show them mine. I couldn't give a shit. You can keep that in there, bro. I don't mind. Like...
I don't know. Okay. I don't know. The forecast of Graph, and then when I say that, because technology also plays the part of security cameras. You know,
it's a love and a hate relationship with technology.
It is, isn't it? It is.
I know. I can imagine in like 10 years' time, I've got friends that are involved in other things, and they'll be able to show me things that can just click sensors off, click this off, click that off. And obviously, at the time, if that's the only way you're going to do it, we're probably going to do it. But there's nothing better than turning up to someone else's city, going to the graph shop, them telling you can't do it, you working for 4 days, and then saying, "Go on, I'll come with you." There's nothing better than that, you know what I mean?
No, I get that. It's almost like you're inducting yourself into something and almost smelling each other's scent, working it out, getting to know each other, boom, 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 and then
I think it's also about how you got brought up without graph. Like, as I say, I'm not proud of any of my past, but I've always been a bit of a Tom, Dick, and a Harry. And when I used that life into graph, was like, well, getting into this thing is not particularly hard, is it? Or doing this thing is not particularly hard. So I think if you come at it with the right aspects compared to other kids that's going to look on the internet and figure out, oh, well, there's a Google map there, you're going to look at it from a different way, and you're probably going to get a different outcome.
It's not comparable, is it? Does it ever get?
Not really,
because you've got all these dual lanes of extracurricular and other activities you do. Does it ever get tiring to you? Does it ever get?
I hate it.
Yeah. Does it ever wear your nerves?
I just want a couple of quid and paint trains abroad. That's all I really want to do. Have my fun in England, but you know, I love travelling.
It just seems like it's a heavy on the head.
Mate, I'm like split personalities between myself. I'm like I contradict myself all the time because I'm very proud to be English and I'll rock England all day long, and I love being back here and painting after so many years. It's so nice to be back, but I'm fucking European, mate. I can't stand it here anymore. I need to get back abroad. And for me, that's the most important thing.
That's the main aim. Wow. You've told us a lot of fucking near scrapes and such. I mean, near scrapes that graph writers get themselves into. I mean,
the classic chases and horrible ones.
Yeah.
I've got a good one for you.
Go on, let's go.
Right. I'd done the prep for the whole train. I'd done a couple of whole cars, got the traffic running, everything nice. So whole train time. This is 6 carriages, 37 chromes, 12 blacks, 36 colours, 2 whites. 4
all remembered. This is a story. Carry on.
Took 3 days. I knew the cleaners by face in Vienna. I knew it that well. Gone in there 3 days in a row. No, it can't work with this one. It can't work with this one. Can't work with this one. Right, good. Day 3, I'm fucking cream crackered. Got them in there. I took 2 bags up at a time and left 2 under the platform. So if anything goes wrong, I'm not losing all the paint. I'm doing the backhaul train. There's 2 trains in a row. I've got a load of guys doing one-mans here. I've got me doing my whole train here. Painting away, fucking hammer and tong, no stop. Eventually, like, again, this is to do with the sensors in Vienna. If there's too much paint fume for some reason, they open all the doors. So I've got all these guys fucking legging it towards me, going, something's wrong. I'm on like my 4th carriage, like, until I see someone, you can get to fuck. So I'm fucking going hammer and tong here, hammer and tong, hammer and tong. They're all stood at the beginning of my T, 4 carriages away. I can barely see down the fucking tunnel. There's fumes fucking everywhere, absolutely fucking everywhere. I'm finishing away anyway. I've got to like the last carriage. They've realised something's not too bad. They've come running back up. in Vienna, they've got magazine people that put like the newspaper in the train every morning. I've finished, but I'm taking my pictures at the front of the train. I'll send you some of them as well. It's the only time I painted with a mask, and I believe you me, it needed it. Halfway through the train, I was looking, and my hand was just, with nothing in my hand, just
shaking.
You know, just the muscles just tweaking, you know, from fucking pressing down constantly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm doing my poses at the front. Lo and behold, I look like the fucking Tintin man or fucking Wizard of Oz. I'm fucking chrome as fuck. This magazine woman's come through the middle door. There's my train on the left, the guy's on the right. She looks at me, just hit the... Looks at him, look like... And just come flying back through the door. So it's like, probably time to leave. So we've been running out. At this point, my head's going bent. I'm thinking, I can't miss this. I know the time's well. And I was that scared. I said, you know what it is, boys? I'm going to wait in the hangar underneath the train until we get this right. Which is a fucking suicide move, but anyway.
Wow.
I was rather under the influence, should we say. And I was on some stairs on these ladders looking at under the train to see the gap for when the police get on and drive it into the next to the buff.
Yeah.
And I'm sat there, and there's obviously loads of trash at the bottom. And I'm saying, mate, he's like, I'm not doing anything. It's the fucking sweat dripping off my tin, hitting the fucking crisp packets at the bottom of the fucking stairs. Yeah.
That'd be me.
So eventually, I've seen police getting onto the thing. So I've dropped down the ladder because there's no signal in here. Ran through the hangar and back up the other, and I'm onto the road. I'm running down the road and no one's answering the phone. I'm like, you had one fucking job, you know what I mean? I took all the risks. You had one job. So I'm crossing the road and I just see more and more and more police. And I'm thinking, shit. At this point, I'm freaking like, what do I do? But I realise there's a multi-storey car park on the right. So I'm like, I'm going to have to balls this. March into the multi-storey car park. Run, and again, I'll send you the picture of this. Run up to the top of it. Took a picture. And lo and behold, you've got all these toys getting arrested. All the whole cars going across the top, and the fucking vandal squad at the bottom taking the pictures of all the police, of the lads that have just been arrested. And the second I'm taking this picture, the main vandal squad has looked round and just pointed at me up in the multi-storey car park.
Oh God!
Lo and behold, it took about a 4-hour chase. I was hid under cars. But the best part of this is the last kid that painted the whole car. He wrote the word irony. So there's a picture of the irony, loads of toys getting locked up, and then loads of police underneath it.
Oh my God!
And it was just irony.
To coin the phrase, wow.
I said to them, "Do not stand there. I will call you when to go there." And they all wanted to stand there, have a spliff, and they all got locked up doing it.
See, don't have your wits about you. That's an incredible story. That's an incredible
Mate, when you've got jail behind you, you run a bit faster than them lot. So,
well, yeah, especially being international as well.
I just had a lot to lose, and I didn't want to come home.
Yeah.
Not that really.
Yeah. What's home saying for you now? Are you living better?
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Coming back to England is probably, this is hand on heart, it's not done my mental health much good. I miss my friends abroad. I miss the freedom abroad. I hate the fact that I'm just under lock and key here all the time. Yeah. Other than that, it's really nice to be back and actually do some stuff in England and smash a lot more in England. Big up Remos in Liverpool. Going to go see you tomorrow.
Liverpool, man.
Do a few shouts. Big up Fister. Big up Band. Big up Peter.
There you go.
Crime Time. Vito. Ofsky. Orgy. Rest in peace, Ook. Rest in peace, F-Talk. Big up Killa Kela.
My brother.
Peace.
The Killa Kela podcast out like it was out of fashion, right? You stay lucky, people don't talk to, and I wouldn't. And yeah, take care of yourselves.
It's been a privilege, man. Take care.
Easy.